Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Erik and today we are watching episode 9 of season 1 of Arcane. It's a very sad day because it's the end of Arcane. It's the last episode. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so awesome to see how this ends, but it is very bittersweet because this show has been so head and shoulders above what I expected. Like I didn't really have expectations. I knew that people thought that this was really good, but wow. Like the humanity of this show, how good they are at like showing emotion, showing subtle emotion, because that's not really a thing in animation. It's really hard. It's like with theater, old school theater especially. There's a concept called like playing for the back row, where in like in theater in the olden times, and I mean still a thing now really. Like you have to overact because you want people at the back of the amphitheater to be able to see you and understand what's going on. So you exaggerate everything. You speak loudly and you speak declaratively, which is basically just like it's like with opera. The way that people sing in opera is designed so that like an audience of like 8,000 people in opera seating can hear you clearly. And like that's kind of a thing in animation as well, because like the subtleties that you can achieve in live action with close-ups is very much harder because it's not actual people, it's animation. But this show has been so good at being like human, being believable, being like I haven't had any uncanny valley issues, where it feels weird because it feels like it's trying to be more human like than it manages to pull off. And this has just been amazing on like every level. The music has been fantastic. I haven't been able to really focus on it as much as I want to because I need to say stuff and so on. And like YouTube and music is not a good combination copyright wise. But like the music has been great. The art style, the visuals, the animation, it's all been so incredibly top notch. And the characters, it's complex characters. And yes, it's been like stuff has been obvious. The fact that this is like a tragedy has been obvious for a long time. And that's not like a bad thing. Like it's clear that this is a tragedy. You know that this is not going to have a happy ending. But like the way it's played out has been really compelling, really, really well done. I am so beyond impressed with this show. Maybe this is a hot take. I don't think it is. But it was good that Vander died. Because that was like the trigger for the entire story. And for me, I think like Vander was an interesting character. He was he was torn between trying to keep people safe and like fighting for the betterment of his people. But like he was, for me, probably one of the least interesting characters. Like compared to Vi, well, Caitlyn is fairly uninteresting as well, to me, personally. Like she doesn't have that many dimensions to her, I don't feel. She's like a goody two shoes, basically. Like she's gotten her eyes opened. She's basically a hero, She wants to fight for the downtrodden. She wants to help people, and that's it for her. But like, there's so many very interesting, complex characters. Like Vi, she is her father's daughter. She is basically Vander. She wants to just people to coexist, pretty much, and she also wants to take down Silco, of course. But like, and then we have Jinx. Jinx is by far my favorite character in this show. Jinx and Victor, I think, are my two favorite characters. And Silco. Those three. They're all just so very interesting. But I think I have stalled enough. Like I'm actually stalling. I recognize this in myself now, that I'm stalling right now, because I don't want to start this, because when I start it, that means it's gonna end. As long as I don't start the episode, I can like look forward to it. But once I start it, I need to finish it, and then it's over and it's done. Anyways, if you want this uncut, then check out the Patreon. Link for that is in the description down below. On the Patreon, I am also like way ahead of where I am schedule-wise on the YouTube. So at this point, I should... How far am I? I'm a couple of weeks ahead in this time slot. So I should have like 3 episodes up of, what's it called? Invincible at this point. And after that, there is more stuff coming. Like, I'm planning on starting The Boys. I'm planning on starting Clone Wars after Gravity Falls. And like, there's no Dragon Princess after Gravity Falls. And then Clone Wars. I don't know. I'm trying to fit in more shows, you know. And yeah, check it out if you want to. But with that, let's get into season finale of season 1 of Arcane. I also forgot to mention that on the Patreon, everything is uncut as well, not edited down like here on YouTube. Link for that's in the description down below. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Welcome. Snap back to reality, Jace. It's not really your fault, like heat of battle. The problem here is that Silco is using kids to work his minds or whatever.
What he was signing up for.
He didn't know what he was signing up for.
Silco's still out there. One dead kid? There's hundreds more where he came from, thanks to Silco and thanks to people like you who stuck their heads in the dirt.
Ooh, that's a great line, Vi.
Take those off.
Not going to happen. Do we need to fight?
Make me.
I don't think you want to scrap with Vi, Jace.
I can't let you leave with them.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a badass. But Vi is more of a badass than you are. He was bluffing. Or maybe not bluffing, maybe he didn't have the stomach for more violence at this point. Rest in peace, kid. Nice. What is happening with Caitlyn though? Because last we saw her, it was a cliffhanger, and she was naked in the bathroom, and then Jinx. Jinx's symbol was on the mirror, and then it cut to black. How you doing, Silco? A bit concerned about the fact that Jinx is missing?
What you want about the late sheriff? He had his uses.
For sure.
Jinx will take care of it.
We all mourn the loss of your son.
She was one of the people in the meeting, right?
He died fighting for our cause. Instead of
The voice actor is so amazing for Silco. Oh, and this guy, he looks so freaking cool. I love his design. Finn, I think his name was. Yeah. What happened, Victor? Like, Victor is now at like a crossroads. Like, embrace what he's turning into, or reject it completely and like do a 180.
Everyone's got to do their part, right?
Yeah. And this is what you can do. I don't think that's gonna work. That thing is like, has a biological material inside it now. It's gonna like fight to survive now. It has gained awareness. Is it basically saying that you're my bitch? I own you?
The grapes are hardened by the climate, but then so is everything that manages to survive in Noxus.
Her as well, her friggin' voice actress. I like the voice acting in this is amazing. So beyond amazing.
Stay away from Jace.
You really are fond of him.
Better yet, march back to your ship and get the hell out of my city. Why did you do it?
Because you weakened me. I couldn't endure the look in your eyes whenever I made the necessary decisions to keep us safe.
Yeah. Mel's reproach was enough. Had to get rid of her. Couldn't have a conscience walking around. like what was his name, the cricket?
Take your place at my side.
Oh, that background is so gorgeous.
I'm sorry.
Back at your hideout, huh, Victor? Yeah. Rest in peace. You still need the cane? The running was just a temporary thing? Is it Jace's turn? Yeah, it is. Like back in, what was it, episode 3? Yeah?
Remember the Distinguished Innovators competition? Everything made sense then.
Yeah, reconnecting a bit. You've both gone astray.
You have to destroy it.
Quite a distance.
I can't do it.
Okay. Victor has made his choice. Reject, not embrace.
Your disease without the hex core.
No, he's gonna die, but that's fine. He's fine with that.
Okay.
I guess you guys should have listened to Heimerdinger while you still had the chance.
We lost ourselves. Lost our dream.
Yeah, you did.
In the pursuit of great, we failed to do good.
That's an amazing line. That could be like a maxim. Like, in pursuit of great, don't fail to do good. Oh no.
When you took Vander out of play, I thought now here's the man who
Yeah, now it's time to take you out of play.
always 2 steps ahead. But
then...
up to you, old man.
Time, I guess, but you could also say that concern for Jinx.
We had nothing. You know what bore us through those times? Loyalty. Brothers and...
Yeah. Like you and Vander, you mean?
But I still believe in loyalty.
Yeah, let's see it, Sevica. Yep. Very cool. Very cool. But Silco was concerned. He wasn't sure.
Get out.
But now you have to listen to Sevica about Jinx.
But he won't be the last.
Yeah, Talus, Jace. Oh, a meeting. Oh, good lord, what are you gonna do, Jace?
I was reminded recently of what brought us together in the first place. The threats beyond our walls.
What brought you together?
Memory.
What do you mean? This is your first meeting, right? Or am I misunderstanding?
Free trade routes, blanket amnesty, unrestricted access to the Hexgate sovereignty. You really think you're in a position to demand all this?
Yeah, he kinda does. That's a lot, though.
You're afraid.
I am afraid.
Yeah.
Your people wouldn't stand a chance. I'm trying to save you from annihilation.
Well,
Yeah, true. You are kinda superior.
You'll discontinue the production of Shimmer.
half there already.
Return the gems.
Yeah, you took it out, kinda.
And I need Jinx. She has to pay for what she's done.
Ooh, that's gonna be a hard one.
She would get me Jinx, and I'll give you your nation of Zon.
Ooh. Now it's Silco's turn to be tested. Will he go that far? Will he abandon Jinx? I don't think he will.
You say all this came about in your own brief lifespan?
How were you able to accomplish so much so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, how old is he? Like 15, 16?
There are more efficient and safer methods of transportation.
Yeah, but not as cool.
It's not enough to give people what they need to survive. You have to give them what they need to live.
Truth. There's a lot of good lines in this show, and this episode more specifically.
All I ever wanted. The boy.
Can you do it? Can you do it?
And what do I lose?
That's
a problem.
Oh, he's talking to the statue of Vander, right?
It all makes sense now, brother.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it all makes sense now. Now he realizes why Vander acted the way he did. There she is. Who is about to walk in? Silco, Vi, or Jinx? That was Vi, right? Yeah, it's Vi. The gauntlets. Fighting music, let's go.
Everyone, out.
Oh yeah? It's gonna be a one-on-one? Man, she looks badass. Holy crap! She got sent. Yeah, let's have a drink before we continue. Oh, this is so badass. Ooh, right, her fancy sword. She's also got an upgrade since the last time you fought. Holy crap! She can, like, create flying slashes. Ouch, right through the hand. It's time for round 2. Get up, Vi.
Well, your guard needs work. I wish I could say it gets easier, kiddo. But I'd be lying.
Yeah, life is hard.
So what do you say?
Get up and keep fighting.
That's my girl.
Oh my god. Holy crap. Should dodge that stuff. Oh hey! Nice! Where did that come from? Now the jukebox is ruined. No more music. Oh man. I'm just loving Vi more and more. They're just such characters in this show, especially Vi and Jinx, man. So good. Oh no, 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 no. She looks so dark now, Jinx.
Our opportunity to demonstrate our compassion, our dedication, our solidarity has passed.
You think you're gonna get everyone to agree to this?
You were right. You were always right.
Diplomacy.
Peace with Silco in exchange for the Undercity's independence.
What?
Yeah, we can't have this. We need to oppress them to maintain our lives. Yeah, what now, Mel?
Really thought I buried this place. But I should have known better.
Oh, and her eyes are like glowing. I think Powder's dead.
Silco thinks he made Jinx. Be what they fear, Jinx. Like everything was the same as when Vander left him.
Yeah, he tried to make Silco 2.0.
I never meant to leave you.
No.
You never left. I always heard you picking me up when all the colors were black. You're
Yeah.
the reason I'm still alive.
Yeah. I see that.
The only thing
It's gonna happen when the last one goes out.
that kept me going was the thought of getting back to you.
Just say one more line. I would say that I would even cooperate with an enforcer. It's like Jinx is gonna make Vi prove herself by killing Caitlyn.
Right here, he stabbed Vander in the back. Just like he planned to with me.
Oh, it's the warehouse.
We're missing someone.
Yeah?
I paid your girlfriend a visit this morning.
No, she's not dead.
You do?
Come on, she's not dead.
Sheesh, I'm not that crazy.
Oh, it's a cupcake with the gemstone.
Powder!
There she is.
Leave her out of this.
Now everyone is at the table.
Where should I sit?
Yeah, in the powder chair or in the Jinx chair. The Jinx chair is over by Silco.
Make her go away. Please.
Man, what? You can't know. Oh, good lord.
We'll leave and never come back.
You'll be with her a day before she realizes you aren't that girl anymore and turns her back on you.
Oh man, the manipulation.
Shut up!
This poor girl, man.
The tops.
The things she's been put through. It's crazy.
Everyone betrays us, Jinx. Vander. Her.
You're projecting, dude.
You're my daughter.
Yeah.
Forsake you.
Yeah.
Drop the gun!
But the cost is on. She's not gonna drop the gun. This is a stupid move, Caitlyn. Oh, the tension.
Wait! She's my sister. Vi, she's too far gone.
No, she's not. She might be at this point.
No.
She's playing vulnerable. You lost your chance. You should have put the gun down.
Now finish it.
No! You remember!
The angel and the devil on her shoulders.
It's your Milo! Flag her!
No, those are bad memories. Oh, good lord. This is tense. There's no light shining through one of the holes. Was that Silco's seat? It was. And he fired and missed. Oh, good lord, Jinx, you didn't. Oh no.
I never would have given you to them.
No.
For anything.
I don't think you would have either.
You're perfect.
Yeah. Very damaged. That's gorgeous. That visual is gorgeous, but this is so sad. Like if Silco could have at this point had a conversation with Vander, oh, they would have gotten along so well.
It's okay.
It's not okay. She's killed both her dads. Yeah. Are you picking the chair?
I thought maybe you could love me like you used to, even though I'm different.
Yeah, you are different, but not worse. You're just different.
But you changed too.
Time does that. It changes things.
Here's to the new us.
I am the monster you created. I hope you know we had everything.
This is just friggin' flawless. This show. Her rocket launcher.
We will show them all. I want you to lose like I lose when I play.
That's gorgeous. No longer a Medarda.
I support Councillor Talus's proposal for peace.
And that's gonna be ruined now because of Jinx. Right? What's she firing at?
I couldn't care.
She's firing the rocket at the council hall, isn't she? Because they're voting in favor of peace. Oh. Like everything in this show, it's a slow train wreck.
What could have been?
Yeah, what could have been? Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh. I don't think I've ever been as upset with episodes ending as I have been during this show. So that was the finale of season 1 of Arcane, episode 9. That was painful. It was painfully good, and it was emotionally painful to watch. I'm hoping this means, of course, that... I mean, this is a massive cliffhanger, because, like, what's gonna happen? Like, I was almost about to say that, like, did they get taken out in the council building, and it's only Victor left, and he's gonna embrace the hex core and go crazy, but he was there as well, you know. So he's not left out. Everyone in Piltover that we know was there at that point. Like, the only one who wasn't is Heimerdinger, and he's with Echo. But, like, yeah, everyone was there. This show has been remarkable. This has really set a new standard. Or no, it can't be allowed to be the new standard by which we measure things, because how do you live up to this? Like, I'm not joking. Like, this is... I mean, I just finished watching it, and it's fresh in my mind. But at the moment, this feels like this is like one of the best shows, like top 5, top 3 that I've ever watched. And maybe that's just like, maybe that's influenced by the fact that it's so fresh. But this was remarkable. The action scene between Sevica and Vi was great. Everything in this episode with Silco was amazing. Just so amazing. I think what happened was that he was not able to let go of the injustices that he had been forced to live through, and he was like, he was trying to kill Vi there, because like he remembers what his big brother did to him and how that ended, and he didn't want the same for Jinx, and Jinx wasn't willing to do it, so he was going to do it for her. So like it was his baggage with Vander that like forced Jinx to pull the trigger, kind of. Like, and she didn't want to do that. So like it's him dying is kind of his own fault. Like, it's not as if Jinx killed him out of nowhere, you know? She did it because she had to protect Vi. But it's like it's such a complicated situation that they find themselves in. That's been done, that the show did that so well. The relationship, the drama, like I said at the beginning, like the humanity of this, the humanity of the characters, like the characters in this show are so incredibly believable. They're some of the best I've ever seen. I know that like a couple of weeks ago, there was a person in the Discord who linked like there had been some awards show for like that was like it was awards that was focused on animation, and Arcane had basically taken home tons. And he linked it, and he was like, be careful, like don't check it out because there might be spoilers. Like they put like screen caps, like images from like title cards for episodes or something, with the award, like, so like episode 8 or 9 or whatever won an award for this or that, and then there might have been like a spoiler in that image. But like, I understand that this won lots of awards because it sure as shit deserves it. I am so impressed, and I'm so sad that it's over. I want more, and I want it now, tomorrow, please. It's not gonna happen, but I feel like I'm kind of skipping over it a bit. But I really enjoyed the interaction with Victor and Jace when Victor was about to step off a building functionally, like jump off a high place, very much like Jace was about to when Victor stopped in. Now it was Jace's turn to stop Victor, and that whole like interaction where he realizes that like we have strayed and we need to go back, like in trying to do good, in trying for greatness, we forgot to do good. There's a lot of really quotable lines in this, a lot of really quality wisdom here. I liked as well Mel rejecting her mother. It was like that relationship hadn't taken up as much space, and I am surprised. I thought that Mel would throughout this show be a much more forceful presence, but that was kind of her whole thing, that she didn't want to be a forceful presence, I guess. She wanted to stay behind the scenes and constantly vie for peace. I thought that she would be more like her mother. But that was before we were introduced to her mother, like back in episode 3, 4, 5, This has been jaw-dropping on like every front. The visuals have, like I've said, I'm going to say it again, gorgeous visually. Like there's so many moments where you could just like, I think I said it before, where if you could get this in like 4K Blu-ray and just like take screenshots of different places, you could frame that, because it wow, it's amazing visually, and the animation, the fluidity, the believability, the humanity, in many situations it doesn't feel like it's animated. It feels like it's like real, but then there are moments where it's like a superhero movie cool factor stuff, which I really appreciate. Like the fight between Sevica and Vi was gorgeous. It was amazing. And Vander showing up there. Oh, and again, something that is worth mentioning, something that brings this together so well, is the voice acting. I got really upset with Vi in episode 3. I did. I got really upset with her. But I don't think I got that, like, I think Vi was way more upset at herself afterwards. Like, she must have regretted that outburst so much, and she had so many years in prison to, just think about that over and over. It's remarkable that she was as put together as she was when you think about it, because a mistake like that was an understandable mistake. Like, it was a very emotional moment, and like the how that affected them. Because if you think about it from Powder's perspective, she is, or Jinx's, like, she is so excited, she's so happy that like finally I got to help, I saved my family. And then she rounds the corner and she's like, oh, there's Vi. I can't wait to tell her I helped, I saved everyone. And then realizing what has happened. Like, for someone who was so damaged and traumatized, and like I don't know, she's probably has some sort of underlying condition. Like, I don't want to say autism, but like she's like she sees things. That's schizophrenia, right? Or something. Like she has issues to start, and then all of this trauma on top of that. Oh man. Anyways, I think I've gushed quite enough. All we can do now, really, is wait for season 2 and hope it can deliver something of similar quality. You know, I don't think you can top this. I think this might be, well, I don't want to say one-hit wonder because that has negative connotations, but this is something remarkable that happens like once in a career for people. It's kind of like Kill la Kill, you know. It's kind of like, it's a statement, and it's like hitting Yahtzee. It's like hitting a jackpot. You know, it's a lot of things, and it's a lot of hard work. Tons of hard work, of course, went into making this what it is. But it's also like kind of a fluke. Like it's. I don't think anyone could have expected something of this level of quality, and not just like visual, not just technically, but like story-wise and like storytelling-wise. The visuals are impressive on their own, but like that's not the most impressive part about this. Anyways, that I think is it for today. Next, we're going to be starting Invincible, so stay tuned for that. I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be good, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near this. I'm just being truthful, because this is going to be almost impossible to top, I feel like. Oh well. Anyways, that is it for today. I thank you very, very much for joining me on this journey, and I hope you choose to stick around for whatever's next. Which is, you know what's next, but like more metaphorically. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, do take care of yourselves, and peace out.